Okay, I want to make another follow-up here. I'm not feeling well, so I don't even know if I can get through this. But apparently, so the two videos I made about Greeking Mr. Drew, apparently the Twitter that I was responding to is not, I think this is Drew. But he said it's Eric, which I think Eric is Mr. Drew's sidekick there on his YouTube channel. But he says it's Eric, not Drew. And then he says, I'm a condescending jerk in my videos and boring. Well, saying I'm a condescending jerk is being a condescending jerk, Mr. Eric. So you're just refuting yourself. And it's boring. Yeah, I'm sure it's boring to you. Definitely. I don't have arguments, he says. I have insults, assertions, and mockery. Well, that was an assertion and an insult and mockery. You're just refuting yourself again. Listening to you was painfully slow because you didn't make a single cohesive point. Yeah, I did. I defined the Greek words. I made the point that the word in question here was an adjective. That's a fact, not an assertion. It is an adjective. It's that it was genitive. That's not an assertion. That's a fact. Genitive is relational. That's a fact. So, Mr. Eric, you don't know what you're talking about, man. Didn't make a single cohesive point. Scoffing, snorts, pauses, laughter is obnoxious. Well, man, okay, if that's way to you, that's fine. People have their personal preferences of what they like and what they don't like. That's fine with me. I won't watch another one of your videos. Well, okay, good. It's the will of God, Mr. Eric. You start the video by admitting that half scholars don't agree with you. No, I didn't say that. I said scholars don't agree with each other, and they don't. So, that's what I said. Don't agree with you, but then you go on to assert your claims with absolute certainty. Well, Mr. Eric, should I say them with uncertainty? Of course I'm going to say them with certainty. Like the word asabon was a genitive and it was an adjective. Yeah, I assert that with a certainty because I'm certain about it. How else should I assert it, Mr. Eric? It's an adjective, has to be read in context. That's what I said. Is the claim you make? Yes, because they have to be read in context. As if that refutes Drew. It doesn't, he says. This, and then I said, he's quoting me, this adjective is modifying the pronoun, which that's what an adjective does. Doesn't exclude, he's saying it doesn't exclude Paul universalizing who Christ died for, saying us. Yes, it does, Mr. Eric. I mean, good grief, man. If it's modifying us, it's not modifying everybody on the planet. It's us. Well, it most certainly does. That's the whole point of my video, Mr. Eric. It's like saying, just because a chair is sitting there and I'm sitting on it doesn't mean it's a chair. Well, yeah, it does. Let me repeat that. It doesn't refute Drew. An adjective modifying a noun doesn't exclude Paul using it as universal after saying us. Yes, it does, because it's genitive relating to the pronouns, which is us. There is no pronoun universal person in the context or in the sentence anywhere. So yeah, it does exclude everybody on the planet because it's relating to us. You just claim that it does without evidence. No, I gave you the evidence in the sentence relating to the pronoun us, Mr. Eric. I mean, you can't be that stupid now. Come on. Yeah, generalizing could be just for sin. It could be generalizing, but it's generalizing about us, not everybody on the planet. Furthermore, you offer no alternative to why Paul uses. Why would I offer an alternative, man? As a general adjective rather than just repeating the pronoun. Well, two sentences later, he did repeat what he said, and he said Christ died for us. Like he just literally said it, man. So Mr. Eric here says, Paul could have said us. Hang on. All right, so he's saying Paul could have used us again instead of the adjective. Well, he did use us again, Mr. Eric. Two sentences later, he says Christ died for us. He did, Mr. Eric. And then he says, so another way to say it could be, while the ungodly were without strength, Christ died for the ungodly. Yes, that's correct, Eric, but the ungodly was us. He says, I didn't offer that option because I'm a tribal hack using minimal Greek knowledge to grind theological axes. Well, I could make a lot more videos about it, you know, give you a lot more information. I mean, what I've heard of your videos, you don't like Greek at all. You say I Greeked you, like it was a bad thing. All right, so then Mr. Eric goes on to say, I left out that the genitive can be used to express an object of a verbal idea. So grammatically, Paul could, see there's a problem, could be using this. That's the problem right there. It's could. That's, man. Okay, hang on. Paul could be using this genitive adjective as the object of a verbal idea expressing Christ died for who? That's the point right there of my video, Mr. Eric. It's the who. And so Paul could just be adding us as, you know, as an extra information, not relating to the context. That's not his words. His actual words are, I'm sorry, excuse me, I'm not feeling good. And he's expressing a different idea. He's going along in the context, I guess, Mr. Eric. Now, all of a sudden, out of the blue, he expresses a different idea. A different idea adding to the us. And not just modifying the us. But you don't offer that option because you're tribal hack. Using your minimal Greek knowledge to grind theological ideas. Well, Mr. Drew, see what I did was use the context. I'm not asserting or saying he could be adding another idea. And that's right. I'm not saying he could be. You're saying he could be. Well, see, here we go. I hate using this language, but I'm going to use it because maybe you can understand it. You're claiming I'm asserting something that I don't prove. But no, sir, it could be that. See, you said you're asserting something that you have no proof of. You're just saying it could be, but it could not be, right? If it could be, then it could not be. So then it's just if you say it is everybody on the planet, that's an argument from silence because it could be that, it could be this. There's no quote evidence for your assertion. It just could be. I think that's what they call an argument from silence, Mr. Eric. If you want to use the debate philosophical crap and speak like that, that's what that would be. An argument from silence. There's no evidence. You just say it could be. And I say based on what? Because see, no, my assertion is based on the context. And what's in the context and the fact that it's a genitive. These are facts. There is a context. That's a fact. It is genitive. That's a fact. And genitives are relational. To the context, that's a fact. Not my opinion. So the context and the pronouns in the context says us. That's my, quote, evidence, Mr. Eric. My evidence is in the text. In the sentence. And in the context of the whole thing. Because two sentences later he says he died for us. That we, yet sinners. died for us. That's still the context, Mr. Eric. So you can't say it's a baseless assertion. No, it's not. It's a based assertion on the context. And the fact that it's a genitive. And if it's a substantive adjective that functions as a noun, then still it's a genitive noun. And it's relational. Relational to the context. So yeah, you would ask the question, who are the ungodly? That's the question. That's the whole reason I made the video. Because you and your buddy there say it's everybody on the planet. Well, I guess maybe you're saying it could be. Are you saying it could be or it is? Which is it? And I'm saying, yeah, no, it's not. Based on the facts that it's a genitive. And it's in a context. And the context is us, not everybody on the planet. See, that's how this conversation started. Because he said word us doesn't mean, it could mean everybody on the planet. Well, no, and that's how this started. Because I said, no, when you're writing a letter, when a pastor is writing a letter to a church and he's using the word us, doesn't mean everybody on the planet. It means them, the pastor and the people in the church. That's how this whole thing started. See, you want to make us everybody on the planet. When in the context, it's not. Like, how can I state that any more stronger, Mr. Eric? I'm basing my assertion on the context. You're basing your assertion on, well, it could be. Might be, because you said could. Okay, do you see that? I'm basing on the text and the fact that it's genitive, relational. Even if it's a substantive adjective, it's still relational because it came from the genitive adjective. You understand that? It's got to relate to something. And the something it relates to is in the context. I can't say it any stronger, Mr. Eric. So it's not a baseless claim. I'm not a hack. I might be hacking you because you don't like it. You want it to be everybody on the planet. Well, why is another subject. You want your free will. That's the bottom line. You want your free will. You want God to love everybody on the planet. So, and you're trying to get a Calvinist. So you picked out this little thing and you twisted it to try to get the Calvinist. I know. I used to do that. What's in your heart comes out of your mouth. What comes out of your mouth is free will because free will is in your heart. Get the Calvinist in your heart because that's what comes out of your mouth. All right. So you see my basis for my claim that it's us because it's the text and all the other facts I just listed now 50 times for you. Okay, so that should be enough. And he says you even try to say that genitive is being used to express a cause or result. I don't think I did that. Christ died because of the irreverent. As an adjective, Mr. Eric. Christ died because of irreverence. I may have said irreverent, but then I think I went on to say irreverence, like Christ died because of sin. Yeah, like that, Mr. Eric. And then he says, no one cares about your opinion. Well, if you didn't care, you wouldn't be writing me, Mr. Eric. You talk like petulant child who was never taught any respect. And then the last thing he says is, no one cares about your opinion. Well, you must have cared some degree. You're writing a big, long response to me. Because you talk like a petulant child who was never taught any respect. Well, okay, man. Okay. That's showing me no respect, I guess. So maybe you're again what you're accusing me of. You're just refuting yourself every time you speak. So that's Mr. Eric, Mr. Drew's sidekick, and that's what he had to say. Well, no problem, Mr. Eric. I don't mind answering you. If you want to write again, go ahead.